Dear leader John Steenhuisen says those who accuse his party of becoming whiter under his leadership haven't been studying the official opposition.
John Steenhuisen has rejected a view that the party has gone back to catering for white people and their interests. He says while the organization is looking to expand its base ahead of the 2024 polls, there's no substance to allegations that its strategy is to place white male colleagues at the forefront of local government in order to attract its Afrikaner base, which was lost in previous elections.
Welcome to Mzansi Real Talk, the channel where we dive deep into the heart of South Africa's stories and issues. Today, we're tackling a pressing question: will the DA party ever win the elections? Get ready for a thought-provoking discussion, insightful interviews, and honest conversations about the future of South African politics. If you're ready to explore the real, the raw, and the remarkable stories of Mzansi, you're in the right place.
Mzansi Real Talk.
Let's get started. Democratic Alliance. The Democratic Alliance was formed in 2000 through a merger of the Democratic Party and the New National Party. The DP, in particular, had a history dating back to the 1950s as a party representing liberal and center-right positions. The DA positions itself as a center-right party and is known for advocating liberal policies, free market economics, and a focus on good governance and service delivery. The party's early support came primarily from South Africa's minority groups, such as white and colored populations. The DA has made significant inroads in South African politics, especially in Western Cape, where it won control of the provincial government and has maintained it in subsequent elections. While the DA has grown to become the primary opposition party in South Africa, it faces challenges in appealing to a diverse and predominantly black electorate and overcoming the historical dominance of the ANC. An overview of the current state of South African politics, including major issues, challenges, and trends leading up to the upcoming elections, considering economic, social, and political factors. 1. Economic challenges. South Africa faces significant economic challenges, including high unemployment rates, poverty, and inequality. The COVID-19 pandemic exacerbated these issues, with lockdowns and economic disruptions causing job losses and slowing economic growth. The government is under pressure to address these challenges and stimulate economic recovery while managing fiscal constraints. 2. Corruption and governance. Corruption remains a major concern in South African politics. Several high-profile corruption cases have implicated government officials and state-owned enterprises. These scandals have eroded public trust and confidence in the ruling ANC. The government's ability to combat corruption, ensure transparency, and improve governance is a critical issue for voters. 3. Land reform and redistribution. The issue of land reform and redistribution is a long-standing concern. The government's efforts to address historical injustices related to land ownership and allocation have been contentious, and the question of expropriation without compensation is a highly debated topic. 4. Unrest and social unrest. Recent incidents of social unrest, such as the July 2021 riots in KwaZulu-Natal and Gauteng, have raised concerns about security and social stability. These events were sparked by socioeconomic grievances and political factors, revealing underlying tensions. 5. Healthcare and COVID-19. South Africa's healthcare system has been under strain due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Vaccination efforts and the government's response to the pandemic are important issues that impact public health and the economy. 6. Political landscape. The ANC has dominated South African politics since the end of apartheid, but its electoral support has gradually eroded, especially in urban areas. The ANC is grappling with internal divisions and leadership issues. The Democratic Alliance continues to be the primary opposition party, and there is increased competition from other parties like the Economic Freedom Fighters. 7. Electoral alliances. With no party currently holding an absolute majority, electoral alliances and coalition politics are becoming more common. Parties may need to form alliances to secure power or exert influence. 8. Youth engagement. The youth demographic plays an important role in South African politics. Young voters are increasingly engaged and have specific demands and expectations from political parties. 9. Voter apathy and turnout. Voter turnout has been a concern, with a growing number of South Africans expressing apathy or disillusionment with politics. Encouraging voter participation is a challenge for all parties. The electoral history of the Democratic Alliance in South Africa provides insight into the party's growth and performance over the years. Here is a summary of the DA's electoral history. 1. Early years. The DA was formed in 2000 through a merger of the Democratic Party and the New National Party. In the 2004 general elections, the DA received around 12% of the vote, establishing itself as the primary opposition party to the African National Congress. 2. Gains in Western Cape. One of the significant milestones for the DA came in the 2009 elections when it won control of the Western Cape provincial government. This marked the first time the DA governed a province in South Africa. 3. 2014 elections. In the 2014 general elections, the DA increased its share of the national vote to approximately 22%. This was a notable improvement from previous elections, solidifying its position as the leading opposition party. 4. 2016 municipal elections. In the 2016 municipal elections, the DA achieved significant success, winning key municipalities, including Nelson Mandela Bay, TSA Tshwane, and Johannesburg. This marked a shift in the political landscape as the DA gained control of important urban areas. 5. 2019 elections. In the 2019 national elections, the DA secured about 20.77% of the vote, maintaining its status as the primary opposition party. However, it faced challenges in retaining its support, especially in the face of competition from other opposition parties. 6. Growth in local government. The DA has been successful in local government elections, gaining control of various municipalities and metros across the country. Local government elections in South Africa are highly competitive, and the DA has been able to secure leadership roles in multiple regions. 7. Challenges and evolving landscape. Despite its growth and successes, the DA has also faced internal challenges, leadership changes, and questions about its ability to appeal to a diverse electorate, given its historical association with minority groups. The party continues to work on broadening its appeal and addressing internal dynamics. 8. Upcoming elections. The next general elections in South Africa will be crucial for the DA and all political parties. The party will need to compete against the ANC and other opposition parties while addressing various issues, including governance, corruption, and economic challenges. The DA's electoral history reflects its evolution from a merger of two smaller parties into a major player in South African politics. It has made significant gains in key regions and municipalities and remains the largest opposition party in the country. Its performance in future elections will determine its continued relevance in South African politics. Support for the ANC appears to be continuing to drop ahead of the 2024 national and general elections, with a new survey by the social research foundation pegging its potential share of the vote next year at 45%. The SRF report on South Africa's political state of play for October shows a decline in support for the governing party in a sample of about 1,500 people in polls it conducted in March 2023 and in July 2022. It is the latest in a number of opinion polls conducted by research bodies ahead of the elections, in which the ANC faces the potential of losing its majority and being forced into a coalition government. The ANC took 57% of the vote nationally in 2019, down from 62% of the vote in 2014 elections, a trend that continued at local government level in 2021. According to the latest report, 45% of respondents indicated that they would vote for the ANC if the elections were to take place today, under a voter turnout of 66%. This was a drop in support from both March this year and from July 2022, when 50% of respondents said they would vote for the ANC. During the same period, the Democratic Alliance gained support, polling 31% this month, compared with 24% in March and 25% in July last year, while it grew from 2% last July to 6% in March, where its support remains. The Economic Freedom Fighters also dropped support, from 12% in July last year to 9% this month, although the party polled better than it did in March, when only 6% of respondents said they would vote for it. According to the SRF, a 56% turnout would not change the outcome for the DA, which also polled 31% of support among respondents under this scenario. The ANC did a little better with a lower turnout, getting 46%, as did the EFF, while support for the IFP remained constant. In its findings, the SRF said data indicated that ANC support levels appear to have slipped somewhat relative to July 2022 and March 2023. DA support levels appear to have lifted over that same period as his support for the IFP. EFF support appears to be pinned near the 10% mark, the SRF said. Conclusion: your observation raises valid points that have been subjects of discussion and debate in South African politics. 1. Diversity in leadership. The issue of diversity in the leadership and representation of political parties is important in a country as diverse as South Africa. Having leadership that reflects the demographics of the nation can improve a party's ability to connect with and represent a broad range of citizens. 2. Policy alignment. The alignment of policies with the needs and aspirations of a diverse electorate is crucial. The DA has been working on broadening its appeal and adjusting its policy positions to resonate with a more diverse population, but ongoing efforts are required. 3. Historical injustices. Addressing the historical injustices resulting from apartheid is a complex and long-term process that involves economic, social, and political changes. It's a challenge for any political party, and the DA, like others, needs to demonstrate its commitment to redress these issues through policy and action. 4. Electoral prospects. Whether the DA can gain power in South Africa is influenced by several factors, including the party's ability to build coalitions, expand its support base, and effectively address the concerns of the electorate. While it's true that the DA faces challenges in achieving broad electoral success in South Africa, the political landscape can change over time. Public opinion, voter behavior, and party strategies can evolve, and this, in turn, can affect electoral outcomes. Ultimately, the future of the DA and its prospects in South African politics will depend on its ability to adapt, connect with a diverse electorate, and effectively address the pressing issues facing the nation. It is important for South African citizens to engage with the political process, hold parties accountable, and make informed decisions at the ballot box. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Mzansi Real Talk. If you found this discussion enlightening, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, share with your friends, and hit that subscribe button to stay updated with more Real Talk from South Africa. We love hearing your thoughts and feedback, so drop a comment below and let's keep the conversation going. Until next time, remember, it's Mzansi and it's always worth talking about.